Welcome back to Perfect Space. How y'all doing? Oh, I always forget to do this. Let me go ahead and get my phone out and go to daggone Facebook because I do it every time. And I don't even know what y'all saying, where y'all at. No, nothing. But respect, y'all. Guess what? It's episode, what, Max? 4, right?
4.
Episode 4. Ain't that something
Just
crazy?
4?
Just 4.
It seems like it's been more.
It seems like it is. Like last season, we did 13 episodes.
Okay.
Or whatever. So I'm going to try to go to 15. I ain't going to say I'm not going to try.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go to 15. And I'm going to do what needs to be done. What's up, Des? How you doing, bro? When you get on share, like I said, say something. Y'all, the man with the master plan is finna walk on in here. If y'all can see him. If y'all could see him behind these scenes just now, twisting up, he was carrying on real bad, y'all. I want to let you know that he snuck in a nap again.
Power
nap. Because last time he snuck in a nap, I didn't have a nap at all. So y'all know we get started at 9:05 on the dot. And while we are waiting, of course, y'all see our give it to God and go to sleep pajamas.
Yeah. I ain't got my pair.
She ain't got a pair. We're gonna get. I'm not even gonna say her name because I have to wait to introduce this extra special guest. This was just God. Once I tell how this happened, this is just God ordained. Yeah. It just came out of nowhere. But this is the give it to God and go to sleep pajama set, and it's aligned by Pastor Chastain Gibson, better known as the vocal encourager on all social media platforms. You can get your set. This is the unisex set, and then they have a black silk set as well. It's really nice, y'all. It's giving very boom, very sexy.
Very Christmas PJs.
Yes, it's very
Right.
matching with your boo PJs or whatever. Yeah, it's really nice. And I know it's to give it to God and go to sleep, but it's definitely very sexy too. Yes, it gives. But the website is thevocalencourager.com. You can go ahead and grab your pair, guys. Hey, everybody else that's on, say hey when you get here. I'm seeing your numbers jump in. Hello, YouTube as well. Y'all, like I said last time, I am proud of myself because I am using this streaming service, and y'all know I would not use no streaming service. I had the phone on one side, I am proud of me. I'm trying to stick to it, y'all. It seems to be working well. I'm going to go ahead and introduce our special guest tonight. It is songwriter.
The amazing
vocalist.
Phenomenal.
The actress.
World renowned.
Okay?
No,
World renowned.
I received it.
Because baby has been here.
Big time.
Yeah. My friend, my sister, the Kayla Baker, y'all. Yes. Now, if you've been tuning in to Perfect Space on episode 2, was my accountability versus blame, and I mentioned a friend.
Wow, I forgot about that.
What's crazy?
Wow.
I mentioned a friend that challenged me to be held accountable in a time where I could not receive. I just wasn't in that place. This is that beautiful friend to help me grow and be better. And I told him how we didn't talk for a long time, that we saw each other at a like a girls sleepover empowerment night. We was like,
that is true. That is right.
Ugly crying in that, and I was pregnant with
that's crazy.
I think Skylar. I was pregnant with Skylar. I'll never forget that moment or whatever. So I am so blessed to have her here tonight.
Blessed to be here.
Oh my God, it just kind of came all of a sudden on the way. Yeah.
Full circle.
Listen, my baby called me. She's like, I'm in your city, and you know good and well I'm not gonna call you. Right. I was like, you know what? Come on by.
And I knew Perfect Space was starting at 9, so I was like, let me go ahead and call.
Wow.
And just
look at it.
It's just all I know is all, and the topic is perfect. Mm-hmm. The topic is perfect because I believe we all had those deep, I call it the deep, dark encounters with forgiveness and unforgiveness. And we bear fruit from those moments of being in those places of unforgiveness to being healed from them places and living after that. The beauty of living after unforgiveness is what I know we all share testament. So I believe this is literally God ordained for all of us to come together and share this topic. I literally did not wear any makeup on purpose because I was like, once I started writing my notes, I'm like, okay, Lord, I don't want you to tear jerk me
You don't need any.
Before
I'm
these
sorry,
people,
I made up. I'm coming from the Civic Center. I had a performance
See that?
tonight.
she had a
She
performance.
performed.
It was an
Come
impromptu
on.
one. Somebody called on me at I won't say the last minute, but in the midnight hour, needed me to come through, and so I stood in the gap for them, and I'm here. And it's something.
But what the Bible said, be y'all.
Be
y'all.
But you know you
So
big time
all
when
the
you
time.
perform at a center.
At the Civic Center, y'all.
At the Civic Center.
Because that's where it's at.
Come on.
Hey,
we
Misha,
ain't talking about no
Erica,
backyard
Hashtag.
party now. We
Right.
talking about the Civic Center.
Listen, the Civic Center is big down here in something, baby.
Thousands of pumped out.
Listen, something is definitely a staple.
It is.
I call
Beautiful city.
it's retirement city. That's what I call it. All military people that's worked in like I call it the states of Washington, work for the government. They always seem to flock down this way. They get more bang for their buck.
Absolutely.
Down this way. But it's
Nice
a
houses.
beautiful,
It is.
you can get you a nice piece of country land, build you a big, beautiful house on it. Your kids, see, I'm not waiting till I have a grandkid have that.
Listen.
I'm going to have it now.
Come on. Tomorrow.
Now, okay? Tomorrow.
Tonight.
And we're going to build it with your money. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Thank you, God. Huh. I'm so glad about it. Okay, guys, it is 9:06. So we are going to start, like I said, we always start at 9:05. If you are just in here or this is your first time tuning in, you are tuning into Perfect Space Podcast, which this is a place where we share conversations of healing about everyday life, transparency. We are very open and candid, and we're not spewing any foolishness. I always say it's a lot of other podcasts that talk about relationships, lives, and stuff, and it's literally for likes and shares. They're saying craziness for likes and shares, but I'm dealing with the everyday person that's going through everyday challenges and they want to know how to get out of that. Or my thing is, even while I'm healing with me going through my own stuff, I want to be able to share my journey with somebody else. Something I may be going through, somebody else may be going through that's watching and say, you know what, I never had this perspective. This may work better. Jeremy gives an idea from a male's perspective and say, you know what, let me handle my wife differently, or let me handle myself differently and grow my mind as a man. So, you know, that is the purpose of Perfect Space. So creating those perfect spaces of healing, not just for us on our journey, for you to find those perfect spaces for yourself. Of course, tonight's topic is unforgiveness, guys. And this is, I always say, this is like a deep, because it's something that I really struggle with. Like, from childhood up into my adulthood, I feel like I struggle with unforgiveness. And a lot of times I masked my forgiveness by just cutting people off. And that was like my
cold turkey,
whatever. And there was no accountability, no transparency in any of that. It was just like, what, I forgive you just so I can say I forgive you, and then I don't mess with you no more. Or and I could be completely dead wrong. And like I explained in accountability, baby, I was dead wrong. So y'all know I love to start off with some vague definitions, and then we build from there. So it says unforgiveness is the inability to let go, action or process of unforgiveness. And then forgiveness is to stop the feeling of being angry or resentful towards others that have done you wrong. So I always ask, and I always start, you know, what do you think? What do you think unforgiveness is? Because sometimes there is what you call a normal Webster definition, but Webster, the definition book, has not been through life itself, so it can give a vague definition of what you think it is. I'm gonna say, which one y'all want to go first? I'm put y'all on the spot.
I'm gonna put my guess on the spot.
Oh wow, Jamie.
I saw him at the
You saw it because you already knew he was gonna do that.
Okay, so this is definitely impromptu, but forgiveness to me is a gift you give yourself. You know, when you're walking in unforgiveness, even if somebody else has done you wrong, or you've wronged someone, and you know, timing is very important. But just say, for instance, they're not in a place to receive your apology, they're not in a place to receive what you have to give. You go ahead and ask them for forgiveness, because you need to release yourself from it, release yourself from a stronghold, or from whatever blessing or whatever is for you. You have to be able to give yourself the opportunity to say, hey, I'm gonna let this go in due time, in due season. I'm going to ask you for your forgiveness now. And whenever you're ready for my apology, whenever you're ready for the conversation, I'll be ready. I just think it's a gift that you give yourself. It's important to say, hey, I forgive me.
I like the gift that you give yourself. That's what forgiveness is. Jamie, go ahead. I'm going to let you go after this since you want her to go first.
Yeah,
Go ahead now. What do you think forgiveness or unforgiveness means in your world? Because I feel like sometimes the male has a different perspective when it comes to unforgiveness. And I feel like the males work on different time frames when they need forgiveness.
Well, I really can't answer to that. But I recently had a moment where I was praying to God, allow you not, and I asked God for forgiveness on how I was handling my wife this year. Seriously. I said,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, seriously. I was at work and I was saying, it just hit me out of the blue. I was like, Lord, please forgive me for mishandling and mismanaging my wife. Right. Though there's a certain love that God has given me and graced me in order to handle within our marriage with you. There's a certain love that he gave me, a certain way that I need to handle you as it pertains to your mental capacity and things of that sort. And it came out of the blue because I haven't been walking in that. Even with things that you've been praying for and things that you've been wanting to do, walk out within your new career. And I ain't gonna lie to you, it was kind of rough. I was like, we need to be doing this. I ain't with that. I had to say, you know what? God, forgive me, because this is something that she's desiring to do. This is something that she wants to do. And because I was, kind of, stuck in what I wanted to do at the time, it was holding up things that I wanted to do. And so I was like, you know what? I need forgiveness. You know? So it was, for me, forgiveness is definitely a gift, like she was saying. It's definitely a gift, for sure.
Well, I'll piggyback off what you were saying, based on, I guess you handled it, because I didn't know you were having that conversation with God, or whatever the case may be. But I had to have a moment about my career where I had to forgive you recently. And it's crazy that you're saying this. I literally had to forgive you recently or whatever, but I took it to God. I didn't necessarily say, well, Jamie did. I didn't do that. I literally took it to God, because like some things I feel like you don't need to discuss in marriage based on forgiveness. It's okay, Lord, you did with my husband for him to see your will for my life, because you had your own view of what I should be doing and my potential and things of that sort. And I remember we had conversations about my career, and I was saying, well, I feel like God is leading me this way, or what the case may be, and I know I'm not making the money I used to, and all, like, or whatever. He was like, well, I'm used to you doing this, whatever the case may be. And I blatantly told you to your face, I said, I don't care what you're used to me doing or what you would like me doing. What I will not do is override God's voice to satisfy you at all. And it kind of offended me at the time. I was like, you're a godly man. You prophesy to people. You go and you pray and you speak to people, other people's gifts and things of that sort. And you're trying to put what you want on me. And I felt like you were not acknowledging my relationship that I have with Christ. Like my talk with Christ was in void over my life, and you had more knowledge of what I was supposed to be doing to myself or whatever. And I had to kind of like, you know what? I forgive him, God, because he could be having a moment, and I know that's not his character. Right. I know that's a moment of his flesh or a moment of scarcity, because, okay, I'm used to this thing, and this is something that's completely different, and now I have to adapt to change or whatever. So I'm glad you mentioned that, because this is the first time, like I said, this is creating spaces for us healing too, while we're helping other people. So I don't ever, like we said last time, I don't ever want somebody else to watch this and think that we got our lives completely together, because that is far from the truth. Like that is complete opposite of what we have here. We have deep, in-depth conversations like we having with y'all now. And a lot of times it comes out in the open. A lot of times after you get like, dang, I didn't know you felt that way. Well, I'm glad you said it.
And we don't get it right all the time.
We don't. And my thing is, I'm always big enough to walk it back now and correct it and to make it better or whatever. So thank y'all for those openers. Y'all look good.
And that brought something to mind. Whatever what y'all are talking about now, you're not trying to be perfect, but this is a perfect space to discuss imperfections.
Right.
Yeah. So, I'm not married or anything. Hopefully we'll be.
Hopefully.
Hey,
come on, we're speaking that thing.
But in watching Jamie and Lori's marriage and their relationship has taught me so much. And not just to be on the outside, just the friendship that we do have. I look up to you all a lot. Even though I'm a little older than them, I look up to them. Age is nothing but a number. But seriously,
she's only 23.
I'm 23 in my mind. In my mind. But seriously, thank you all for creating a perfect space to talk about imperfections and it to be a judgment-free zone.
Wow.
It's important to have this example. So thank you for having me tonight.
Oh,
I'm glad to be here.
Yes.
I'm glad to be here.
Yes. Listen, Kayla saw us from the beginning
Trying to tell you.
up into now. And baby, she can contest. It has been a 360, 3 million.
What season that was when you were talking about when we were staying with that married couple of friends during that time? What season that was on? That was at the beginning, right?
Yeah, it had been season 1.
But Kayla can attest on the room that we were living in.
Oh yeah, when we explained that
When
was
we were
one
staying.
room where I call it the college bins. When you go to school, you got them long bins. Our stuff was in bins, but them clothes was washed. That room was clean.
Always.
I was always
right?
cooking.
Always. Listen, I was thinking about you made some manicotti or something one day.
Yeah.
It was so good. Listen, I could not wait to get off of work because I was gonna get a plate of Lord food.
Listen.
Yeah.
I wasn't even going home to my
All the
mama's
time.
house. I wasn't even going on to my own house. I was going to see y'all. So.
Listen, I could, y'all, I'm gonna go out and come back in because I can't see y'all comments and I know y'all commenting. But like you're saying, like we started from nothing, like literally nothing or whatever, and we didn't know how to forgive. We didn't know how to deal with our past from our own parents and childhood trauma of unforgiveness that festered and lingered over into our marriage relationship and in our friends relationship. Because a lot of times we think it's just marriage, it's friendships too. And friendship breakups is just as hard as hell.
It was
Gosh.
hard. It was hard. We went through that season.
Listen,
it was hard, but we had warning. We had a warning.
We had a warning. Warning comes before destruction. Okay, we had a warning. And listen, I was just not in a place where I could be receptive. I had lived so long in defense all the time, and I was never around the people that required me to be accountable for anything unless it was for their purposes. Only I'm accountable to show up when it's good for them, but never accountable to show up for myself or whatever. So I struggled really bad with taking accountability because I thought everything was an attack. Everything I lived on the offense mode, and that I stirred from my childhood into then. So when it came to me having those real conversations with friends, my immediate response to not even necessarily seeking forgiveness, my immediate response to any type of conflict or anything that gave me argumentative type of perceptions in my brain was, I'm gonna cut you off. It is what it is. That's it. I was a hard body baby. I would fight a dog if he was coming. And if I love you, I will fight anybody for you too. And I had to take, and I don't push me now. I ain't no killer. And the Lord has delivered me. But do not play with me. Try Jesus, don't try me. Yes. I'm gonna go here, y'all. Okay. I'm gonna ask myself this question because I've kind of answered it. Do you struggle with unforgiveness? I can say right now, in this moment where I am now, I don't think I struggle as much, not because I'm fully healed from it, because I have isolated myself where the opportunities for people to come in and for me to be extremely vulnerable with others, they sometimes create those places where you gotta seek forgiveness and you do so. I've closed those places off in my life. That I put a wall up where I don't let people in. I've been on this no new friends things, and I've literally been praying and said, Lord, open my heart to new people, because new people are good for you. We have this notion where we feel like brand new people in your life are horrible, no new friends. I'm gonna stick with that. Is fine. But guess what? When I open myself up, my new best friend could be a millionaire that can connect me to millions. But if my brain and my mind is closed off because of unhealed, hurt and things of that sort, or because I don't want to be faced with conflict, I don't want to be faced with somebody that's going to be holding me accountable, things of that sort, I'm never going to be able to thrive in my destiny and in my visions and goals and dreams or whatever. So I don't think I struggle as much now because I don't think I'm presented with that opportunity as far as friendship wise. Because me and Kayla don't talk every day. It could be 6 months and me and Kayla will pop just like we left off. If we have something, we're going to invite each other because we know that's some pure love in the room. But I know we're older and baby, we got lives and life be life. It's life. Life is life. So, you know, we are just in a mature place in our friendship where it does not require that. But there were times in our friendship where we talked every day for hours, text all day. We saw each other every single day, but we needed each other in those seasons. Oh my God. And I didn't realize how much we needed each other. And I'm realizing now I'm evolving, like, I need to spend more time with my girlfriends outside of my home, outside of just us. I'm realizing that now, or whatever.
It'll happen. Everything is about timing. It's about timing.
And I think it's touch and go sometimes too, because you got to make sure the time, like you said, the time it has to be right. God is the author of timing, so it has to be perfect, so it can be perfectly set, so the goals of the friendship can be met. Because a lot of times, I want to have fun, but I want to be poured into. My time is very valuable, so if I'm not around a person that's going to lift my spirit,
if it's a toxic friendship, the only connection that you have is negativity and gossip and talking about people, that's not a good friendship.
I'm good on it. I wrote this down. I said, have you really forgiven if you have hardened your heart towards a person? And that's one thing that when I said, I was literally in the tub and I had my little blackboard, I had my laptop, and I was writing this down. I just transferred my notes there, and I was like, no, Lord, give me what to say. And I was like, have we really forgiven if we harden our hearts? Because a lot of times we say we forgive somebody, and forgiveness does not mean access. And I feel like we forget that too.
That's right.
You don't have to give somebody access for you, because that way, when you create those boundaries are not for those other person. It's for yourself if you're comfortable with it. But if you've hardened your heart towards that person, or if that person is literally in need of a spiritual word, you can harden your heart sometimes. It don't matter what God telling you to say to that person. You can say you forgive, but I'm not dealing with them. I don't care what. And the Lord is literally speaking to you. You're dreaming about it. Every time you go to church, you hear a word about it, and the Lord wants you to release something. And we've hardened our heart to the point where we can't even release what God has put on our tongues to release to them. And I've been to that place. And I ask myself, have I really forgiven them? Is that really forgiveness?
Right.
Do you think it is? Like, is that really forgiveness? Is harden your heart to a person? Because I know I've been that way with family.
Yeah, I don't think that's forgiveness.
I don't know. I almost think it's kind of twofold. You know, I'm the devil's advocate.
No, it's not forgiveness.
Especially if you harden your heart towards the situation. When God's called us and commanded us to love.
Hey, Bree.
When God has called us to command and to love in every situation, in season, out of season, in every area of our life, He's commanded for us to love and to be Christ-like. And so, if your heart is hardened, you can't walk in love. So, you know, if you're not walking in love, then you're not gonna be able to walk in forgiveness too.
At all.
Yeah.
At all. I did write in a point. It says forgiveness requires vulnerability.
It does.
Because I always feel like, now this is what ticks me off, y'all.
What's that?
Then when I say it made me mad.
Come on.
If I'm trying to have a conversation with somebody to get to the lane of forgiveness and they cannot be honest, it to me, and I feel like women, I feel like it drives us insane. And I think it's sometimes when it's dealing with men, because I feel like even with parents, because I've had situations with my own mom, and I've tried to come to her because I don't think in their generation they've been taught how to say sorry.
No, they don't know how to say sorry.
They don't know what sorry is.
Sorry.
At all. And I don't know what it is about their generation. I don't know if they were not told sorry.
They have to be taught. They have to be told that. So they're gonna only give what they've been given.
Right. And I don't know how to function in that. Because it takes me to a place of anger. And I can say this with my mom, because me and my mom talk very carefully. It takes me to a place with anger with my mom, because I want you to be as vulnerable as I want, because I want the relationship to work. Or whatever. So I feel like forgiveness requires that level of vulnerability, because you have to be honest in those conversations to get down that lane. And I feel like, you know, I feel like when we have those conversations, we're seeking an apology, or we're seeking the apology so we can get to forgiveness. But I'm realizing as I get older, the apology may not come, and I still need to forgive. That's the caveat.
So question though, how does that make you feel? Because, how does that make you feel when you don't get the apology that you you've been wanting.
I feel like that's when I turn when my heart is hardened, and I go to the cutoff method. I resort back to my defense mechanism, was I'm just not going to deal with you or whatever, because now I feel like you playing in my face in a sense. I don't like it. Like if I come to you and I tell you, and I'm using your analogy, fat McGreasy. I like to say or whatever, and you trying to gaslight me through the whole entire thing, like this never happened, it's all on me, like you just got this this short-term memory and long-term memory loss. That drives me insane in the conversation. It makes me feel like, okay, you know, you don't have enough respect for me to even be honest in the conversation. And I felt like I've dealt with that in our relationship or whatever. I felt like sometimes when I came to you or whatever, or you came to me or whatever, either one of us don't want to take accountability for what really happened, and we're in the blame game at that point or whatever. And I feel like it's big for men to apologize for real. I don't like apologies when it's an apology just to make me shut up or just to make me go away. I feel like, and I don't want to have to bait you into an apology. Tell you what you did wrong, why you did it wrong. Got to go around the bend to even get it to you, to get to that place for you to apologize, in turn for the caveat for me to forgive you. Do you feel like, I'm going to go to Kayla. Do you feel like that happens in our romantic relationships often?
Absolutely. But based on the person's emotional intelligence, they have to have the capacity in the first place to realize that, hey, I did something wrong. I am wrong. Let me go and apologize to that person. Yeah. You cannot force an apology. You cannot force someone to see how they made you feel. God gave you your feelings for a reason, for you to feel them. They're not for somebody else to feel. So your prayer for the person that needs to be forgiven or has done you wrong, you pray for that hardened place. You pray for that place in them, because you don't want to prematurely ask for forgiveness or prematurely ask for an apology, and that person's not ready because it's not real. And then it'll become a repeated cycle, and we have to be in a place to break cycles and again grow from where we are. But to your point, I think men and women do it, but yeah, more so men. I'm on the other side. What men?
Now see, honestly, I can actually say that I used to be that way, but now it's hot.
Yes, I can turn the air conditioner on.
Turn AC on. I can honestly say that I used to be that way, but now, because I see your heart on the platter, and I honestly want to see it, and I'm intentional on how I handle you in this season and in years going and months going, because I understand that you're my favorite and what you bring in my life and what you do for the business and what you do for the household. She going to sleep, so it don't even matter. But I understand what you are to me, and that's not me being a simp, because I'm an alpha male all day.
Oh yes, he is. He ain't no told man.
No, I ain't. I just say go do what you tell me to do, right? But I just understand what you, and I'm not trying to get off subject, but I just understand what you try, what you bring to the table. I'm not, trying to make this a marriage session, but I just understand what you bring to the table, and so I am more quick to respond when there's things that need to be cleaned up. If I had to apologize, or we gotta forgive each other for whatever, I'm quick to do it, because I don't want to hinder my blessing. I don't want to hinder my prayers, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I like how you said it, being quick to apologize. I feel like in relationships, especially if we value those relationships, we need to be quick to apologize and fix things if you value, even if you don't value. As a Christian person,
try to see the other person's side.
Try even if they are wrong. As a Christian person, so because God does not walk in unforgiveness already, and we are given grace and new mercies every single day or whatever. I know what to say, my grace run out, on it, and I ain't like Jesus or whatever. But I'm supposed to be striving to be like him, and I know it's easier said than done or whatever. But we need to be quick to forgive, because a lot of times we hold up stuff in our own lives because we will not let go. Oh my God. And I know sometimes when our heart is broken, like it is so hard. It is hard. And that brings us to my next point, triggers. I feel like that's the hard part when we have the triggers. I can remember when me and Jamie was going through, I'm gonna say a tumultuous time. We was finna walk up out the door. I was finna go, he was finna go. We just did not like each other. We loved each other. We did not like each other, and we were not friends. We were on different teams or whatever, and we were going through things. And I can remember the very smell of things triggered me. Even certain body movements or so, it would trigger me. I would get so angry with him. Even certain phrases, I would be so angry. And because I was, the beginning of my marriage, I was called a sweep under the rug girl because I wanted to be everything that my mom didn't show me. I wanted to make sure my marriage stayed together. I wanted to make sure my kids grew up in the house with their dad. I wanted to make sure that I was this submissive woman. As kids, I would cook for them and bring them this plate and all, like literally. Even when I was talking to everybody around me, this is what you do with your man. This is what you do. And internally inside, I was hurting because I did not know who I was at all. I literally did not know. I didn't have identity of glory. So what that caused me to be is be loud, to be extra, to have to be seen, to have to be out before people, to be nasty and snappy and all that. I'm like, I'm creating this altered personality of myself because I don't know who I am. And I'm living my life through Jamie and through everybody else vicariously and not knowing who I am, creating this false narrative to myself or whatever. And because I swept everything up under the rug, even with my friendships or whatever, because I was a people pleaser. I wanted to make everybody happy. I wanted everybody to always be around. But I started to realize these people don't invite me nowhere. When I moved, they don't come to my house. The invitation stopped. It was always me gathering and nobody else doing it.
Cooking and everything.
Baby, I make y'all laugh. I had 4th of July at my house, y'all.
We had 3 grills burning that day.
We had ribs, chicken,
hot dogs,
baby.
everything.
That was when Cabray and them all came over to my house at that apartment.
On
Garden Square with a brick apartment.
Yes.
We had a good time.
I first met your mom.
Yes, you met my mom that day. My sisters were there. Even my older sister Kobe came from, I think she was coming from Texas or Colorado, one or two. Or whatever. She came down. And y'all, we had a slam up time. I still got videos. We sung. We had a time, and I fed everybody. The food was amazing. I woke up the next morning. That little gold Toyota Corolla was gone. I spent my last dime pleasing people, and nobody would have ever known. But I spent my last time pleasing people because I wanted to be loved. I wanted to be liked. I wanted to be fulfilled. But because I have not forgiven myself for what I put myself through, I had to realize, and when you start to look yourself in the mirror as you get older, I was just like, I am so not proud of myself. I am so just like, how dare you disrespect yourself like that? And I feel like those, to go back to the triggers, like when I do little stuff now, that's why I don't have much in my house. That's why I keep people out. That's why I do like, I ain't never doing this again. This ain't never gonna be me again. Like I set these boundaries, but sometimes I'm setting boundaries on false pretenses that I did myself. Nobody did it to me. I just opened myself up to them. I always said, when you do it free the first time, it's gratitude. By the time the second time come around, it's like, oh, okay, girl. By the time the third, fourth, fifth time, it's expectancy. And then by the sixth time, it's entitlement. That's how people use you. You do it, and it's, oh, thank you, girl. After a while, they expect you to keep doing it. And after a while, when you start telling them, no, it's an entitlement that comes on. People think I should be able to tell you what to do, and that's how I live my life. And when people start to have entitlement over my time and all that stuff that I created, I start to flare up. I start to want, like, literally over little things, to start to flare. And I'm like, well, I created this space where people could use me. And now I got to go back and not only try to forgive them, I got to forgive myself for letting myself go down that road or whatever.
That's good.
Let me see here. Oh, this is funny. I'm gonna let you speak on this, Jamie. I'm gonna let Kayla pick it up.
Lord.
How do you feel about seeking apologies from people that aren't sorry?
I don't even want them.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want
Don't tell me.
I feel like, but see, I'm gonna go to the top of my page because I feel like with family, when you're dealing with family, I feel like that's a different beast with that statement.
Yeah.
It's a whole.
I was just talking to my cousin about that today. They matter of fact, my cousin, who house I was at today, she was saying the same thing that you said, that they feel the older generation just feel like you're still a child.
Oh my God, this is a legit on here.
They feel like you're still a child, and so
forgiving those who don't respect you, older family members, literally.
Wow.
That's on here.
Yeah, so they feel like you're still a child. So it's like you do as I say, type deal. You know, my feelings don't even matter. So it's just like you say earlier, like a second ago, just sweep it on the rug and we just, hey, come back to the house. What? Come back to your house. You ain't tell me sorry.
Yeah, like you ain't even apologize because you're not sorry. Because you don't respect me.
Yeah.
I feel like those apologies don't come because there's a lack of respect.
Yeah.
And they feel like there's no need for resolve. Because I've come before you, I've changed your behind.
Oh yeah.
I bought you in this road and I take you
out.
Yeah.
And I struggle with that when it comes to family because with other people seeking apologies, I'm like, okay, girl, whatever. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I can more so move on and just carry on.
But someone that you've actually gave access to.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's different when, me and Joe, we just in passing or whatever. But someone who has a position or a role or access in my life, who has access to my vulnerability, is different when they break me. You know what I'm saying? When they break me, Like they really cut me in half versus someone who I really, really don't know. It don't matter.
I feel like it takes me longer to forgive with family.
Honestly, it takes me longer too.
I don't know. This is a good topic for me because it's really putting some things in perspective. I do not have a problem with saying sorry or forgiving people. I let a lot of stuff go, and I don't know if this is a strength or if it's a weakness, because sometimes people will take advantage of that, and so I can quickly say sorry if I recognize that I've done something wrong. I don't hold grudges, or at least I don't think I hold grudges. But the most difficult thing I struggle with is forgiving myself, the mistakes I've made, letting go of the things that I knew, like, dang, I was wrong. I struggle with have struggled with forgiving myself. Not so much now, but that was my issue. I pretty much know that if somebody do me wrong, I let it go. I don't hold on to it because I don't have the emotional capacity to hold on to it because I got some other stuff going on. So I can't hold on to what you've done to me when I already am holding on and harboring things that I'm dealing with, like you said, childhood trauma, relationships, whatever the case may be. I can't hold on to what you got going on if I'm still dealing with my own. So, my own. So
I don't know. I feel like I'll be very candid and transparent with you. I feel like my biggest unforgiveness. And I say I forgive all the time with this situation is my father. Like I really feel like I have, and you both come from homes with mom and dads that's married, that's strong marriages, that you had a dad that was there, present in your life or whatever. So y'all know what that life is or whatever. I found myself almost putting Jamie in the place of my father and requiring what my father did not give me from him, which caused us to have spats. Because I'm requiring a boy that he was not designed to feel or whatever. And I felt like my father failed me. I felt like even when I wanted to go and to like get to know him or to try to come to some type of understanding of, why weren't you there? Because I felt like I was owed that. And to be honest, I still feel like I'm owed that. I'm 31 years old. Yeah. I still feel like I'm owed some type of explanation. When I went to him and I inboxed him on Facebook and I said, hey, I really want to talk to you because we had tried years before. He met me under circumstances that was conducive for him. And I'm going to leave that at that. To save family. Leave that at that. Met me under circumstances that was convenient to him. And when those circumstances went away, so did our relationship. And then he came back again when I had Casey, and I was baited into letting him meet my daughter at 1 year old. I never forget this. I still got a picture. And I took her to him. He didn't come to her. I drove all the way to his job on his lunch break.
I remember that.
On his lunch break.
Yeah.
This job. I ain't met you till I'm 17 now.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm constantly going on my way as a child to come to you. I came to you, took my baby up there. You met my baby one time. You made me a promise, telling me, oh, I'm going to be there. This is, this is my first grandchild. I mean, all of this other stuff or whatever. He met her one time and never talked to her again, never called again, no nothing. So I opened myself up to another level of vulnerability as a first-time mom. And I feel like, okay, now it's another slap in the face. So when I'm like, okay, I think it was around my 28th birthday, right about so. I said, you know what? This birthday, I'm not going to go harboring this unforgiveness in my heart. Mm-hmm. Like, I know that's a place I need to really let go to be able to be effective, even in ministry, even with my other relationship, even with John. I need to be able to I need to let this go. I never forget, I inboxed him and I said, I really want to talk to you. I really want us to get to a place. I said, we don't have to, I'm not looking for a daddy-daughter relationship, but I'm looking to have a cultural relationship. We learn about each other. Let me know your background, because sometimes we're judging our parents and they've gone through stuff or whatever, but I can't judge you on what you've never vocalized to me. You've never said, I don't know what to go. All I can know is my narrative because you won't give me nothing else to go off of. And I was seeking that. Give me what it was so I can even be in a place where I can be receptive to forgive and to be open to you or whatever. And his first response is, I got cancer. I can't deal with that. And I felt so little and so low because in one breath, when I'm getting emotional, because in one breath, I was like, well, should I have these feelings because he got cancer? And that's bigger than me. It's bigger than me. How dare I go to him? And in the other breath, you can have this, but that your mouth isn't broken. Your mind isn't broken. How dare I not have this moment, for myself or whatever. And to this day, we've never, ever had the conversation at all. I've talked to my brothers. He gave my brother, a 30-something-year-old, 40-something-year-old brother that I did not know existed, my number. And just had him call me out the blue on FaceTime. And I've never had a conversation with my own dad. So I feel like, I want to forgive you, but you keep doing things to just like the fester up unforgiveness. And that's a relationship that I struggle with to this day. And I'm being candid because I've never even talked to Jamie about this because, I don't know, I feel like I got to keep on a hard shell sometimes. Like, I don't want him to know that you hurt me. I don't want him to know that he still got that type of control over me because I'm not no little girl or whatever. But it's the little girl that's inside me that longs. It longs for that.
Wow.
Or whatever. It longs for that to have a relationship like with your dad and your dad. I've seen how your dad operates, how he cares for his girls and loves on them. Like she had a video release and how he just walked the room and he was so proud. Even Jake, when he preached at your daddy's church, how your daddy said amen every 2 seconds. He was so proud or whatever. So I'm asking God, not just for me, but for others that is dealing with, parents that you're struggling to forgive or whatever. I'm asking God to extend his hand, not just to me, but to those that's watching too, because it's hard. It's hard. And I can't say it's just him. I don't know. I don't know what his life was like. I don't know what situation it was when I was born. I don't know. But I feel like if I have that conversation, it would be easier for me to understand, to get to that level of, God, I'm in a place now where I'm receptive to forgive. I'm receptive to be open to that vulnerability, vulnerability space or whatever. I'm going to move on because I ain't crying no more. I
keep crying.
Up night.
Keep on. Keep on crying. You need it.
But I realized too that the Lord has connected me with young people. And I'm looking at Max, don't look at me no more. He's sitting behind the camera. But he's connecting me with young people with the exact same story. I got a baby that got literally verbatim the exact same story as me. So the Lord needs me to be healed. For me to be, he needs this. He is requiring the pull of me to be healed. For me to help those that he's put in my life.
That's right. So
or whatever.
Bleed on them
so I don't bleed and stain them. Because they've come to me with, what do I do? And I'm like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So I go to the word. You know, the Lord say, honor your mother and your father so your days will be long.
That's right.
So don't disrespect them. If you don't have anything nice to say, just don't say it at all or whatever. The hardest thing for me was praying for my dad after him telling me he got cancer. That was so hard for me.
Yeah.
That was so hard for me because, like, what about me?
Yeah.
What about me when I was on my deathbed?
Yeah.
After having cancer. Y'all remember that? Y'all came to see me in the hospital.
Oh, yeah.
When I was about to die. What about me? That, you know, it always comes. What about me? I'm like, you know what? I am not that same little girl, and you not. The enemy is not gonna make me go back to that place of unhealed me, unhealed little Lori, and trump all the work God has put in me and all the work. I'm not gonna keep going back and reliving those moments in those places. So, like I said, I want to encourage you all. Even if your parents are not willing to have that conversation, for you guys to be a caveat, for that to be a caveat to lead to forgiveness, pray for them. And it's gonna be hard.
Mm-hmm.
Don't say anything negative about them because you want your days to be long.
Right.
I right now come against the spirit of unforgiveness and the spirit of short life, a life being ended short because of unforgiveness and because of disrespect. If you ain't got nothing nice to say, just don't say it.
Don't say it at all.
Just don't say it. Don't even utter it out your mouth. And even if you do slip up, be quick to repent and say, God, forgive me because I'm in a healing place and I know you're doing a healing inside of me. So be quick to forgive. Be quick to how you said, be quick to say, you know what, I'm sorry, Lord. Because, and you got to do that to God, not just the people. Be quick to change your own mouthpiece because you could be speaking, damnation on yourself by doing that. So I want to share that with you all. I'm not gonna talk about that no more.
Thank you for sharing.
I'm not gonna talk about it no more.
That's healing though.
It is like it's a moment that how you get in principal's office, you got that knot in your throat. When I was like, oh God, you gonna take me here? I won't talk about this, but it's that knot in your throat. Like, okay, I'm gonna get it out. I need to vocalize it and say it. And sometimes we don't know how to put those feelings into words. Our mouths can't mouth it. And our hearts are squeezing on to, like, our mouths cannot verbally say those feelings. And that's a hard place. Because I often think about what's going to happen if he died. Or somebody called and come and tell, like, what's going to happen? How am I going to feel? Like, I have all those thoughts over and over and over again. Or what, like, what's going to happen? Am I going to feel mad? Am I going to be sad? Am I going to be crying? If I go to the funeral, if people going to say, should I cry? Like, I got all these thoughts, all these emotions or whatever.
My name will be on the program.
That too, like you think about that stuff.
All kind of stuff.
Technically, I'm the secret child. If you want to be real, I'm the secret child. Am I going to be in the family car? And I ain't want to be in the family car. I don't know that.
You want to be in the family car?
No, baby, I won't be.
Don't worry about it. We'll drive the truck.
Put me in the big truck.
I'll put you in the truck. I'll make sure it's clean.
That's right.
Yeah.
And can you put the running boys on there? I don't want to fall. The running boys. He put the running boys on.
I'll put the running boys
back. And you got to slide out because you can't lift your legs, baby, to get in it. Yeah.
You got to lay out there.
How you got later? You get on my nerve.
But you talking about forgiveness. The scripture came to mind. The Bible said that we got to give those, right? We got to forgive those in order to be forgiven.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's so important to forgive. Mm-hmm. We got to forgive others so we can be forgiven of our sins. The sins knowingly and unknowing. The ones that we don't know that we're committing throughout the day or while we're asleep. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Even our thoughts.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So that's why it's so important, Lord, that you brought this topic up tonight, because forgiveness is powerful. There's healing in forgiveness. You got to forgive those who trespass against you. You got to do it in order for your Father to.
What's crazy when you're saying that, literally, God bring my healing. Forgiveness is your grace.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally, forgiveness is your grace. Literally, God casts all of your sins, anything you do wrong, in the sea of forgiveness. Mm-hmm. So He forgives you, forgets. That's your grace. Forgiveness is literally your grace. You type that in the comments. That preach. I won't preach it, but then I preach.
That's right.
Forgiveness is your grace.
You don't preach it. It's all right. Mm-hmm. You don't preach it. But can you imagine how much He had to put in the sea of forgiveness for you?
Man, the sea is full of.
Kayla, can you imagine
70 times 7, that's what they said. That's a lot.
That's a lot. If you think about how many days in the year.
365.
What?
65.
I mean,
that means
Jesus.
I mean, because He said we're going to fall short of glory every day. Every single day.
I mean, just stuff that you don't even, okay, like, all right, God, I know I did this.
I didn't even know I did that.
But
I didn't even know.
Right.
stuff that don't even come across your mind. It's like that. You know what I mean? But this is
Well, I'm gonna say this too. The question, sometimes people, I was like to give understanding, because you were saying, you know, he forgives us in sin, and people say, well, what is sin? And I always say sin is anything outside of the will of God. Anything you do that is outside of His will for your life is sin.
Yeah.
That's literally what it is. And I'll never forget, Mr. Ernest Session told me that. He is insurance owner. Shout out to Mr. Session, Allstate. Go and get y'all some car insurance. Shameless plug. But he was in theology school. And he said, it was actually what is sin. And the people were trying to write down like the sins of the Bible. And he said the Lord literally gave him revelation saying, anything you do that's outside of my will for your life is sin, because you didn't come to me. And I was like, like my chest, like even with the simple things, like like I was convicted when he said it. I was like, dang, like how many times have I moved on emotion, on just regular circumstances, just every life, how you said we life is lifing or whatever, and we don't consult him, and then life starts really lifing based on the decision we make, and then we want God to get us out.
Like, I ain't tell you to go that way.
I ain't tell you to go that way. I told you to go to Main
That
Street
wasn't my boy.
and make a left. Over there on Fair Road. You ain't done that. You want to go down the Harvest.
And you put my word on it, and you man, I ain't gonna get through.
That's another topic.
Right, you put my word on what you said.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna do that because I'm scared of God. Yeah. So I do want to. We got good time, y'all. Good time. I wanted to end here, and this is. I'm glad we focused on forgiving yourself. I'm glad you mentioned that. And I wrote down a message to myself, really, and I wanted to share it. It says, forgive yourself for allowing, releasing, and placing. And I'm going to break that down. Allowing yourself to let others treat you any less than you deserve. Because a lot of stuff is an allowance that we allow people to do that. We allow people, like you said, sometimes you don't know if it's a blessing or a curse that you forgive so easily, because sometimes you just let a lot of things slide or whatever. And I'm going to say that's more so a blessing than it is a curse if it's placed correctly. If it's placed correctly, because a lot of times stuff that sometimes we need to have those conversations and check some people on. And there's a way to do it, but sometimes our emotions so hyped up, you be like, you know what, it's better for me not. Sometimes we got to go back around after we calm ourselves down and still have that conversation for clarity and understanding. Not just for them, like I know I'm not crazy. And I know this is what I require of myself. And I know this is the foundation that I laid for our relationship too, whether it's friendship or, you know, another type of relationship. I know this. So I'm going to go ahead and let's redirect this so we can be clear moving forward, because we may cross paths again. It may not be in the same venture, but now we know how to handle each other going forward too, or whatever. The releasing was releasing your time, attention, and resources on things that no longer serve you. And that's one thing that I struggle with. I will say this, I forgive myself for releasing my time, my attention, and resources on things that no longer serve me. Oh my goodness, I struggle with it so bad. Oh my goodness, I don't think I realize now I'm older.
But how do you release? Like, how do you let go of something that you know is not good for you, not good to you? How do you release?
I feel like it's over time. I feel like if you see a scab, and you know the scab needs to come off because it's not healing properly, what you're gonna do is you can do it the easy way and just rip it all off at once. And it's gonna hurt. You're gonna be in pain. You're gonna see the scars. It's probably gonna bleed again. Or you can just go, okay, I'm gonna go and put this on in. And little by little, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna start releasing over time to do it properly, because sometimes there's some situations where you can just rip it off. And it's okay, I'm gonna move on. And there's some situations that you deep in. Yeah. You deep in. And you got to pry away the pieces. And it could be, I'm just gonna use relationship for an example or whatever. It could be a relationship that I need to let go. And I say, you know what? I'm gonna start by not talking to that person as much. Limiting my time. Okay. Because time is something that we cannot get back. I would say that's the most valuable thing. It's more valuable than money.
Yeah, they say time is currency.
Time is currency. That's something you get back. God, He ain't making yesterday's time. at all. There's something that's just not going to happen. So little by little, pulling your time back, making yourself unavailable to whoever or whatever the situation is, making yourself unavailable. You know what? I normally give this person my time. This old 3 hours. We just talking. And it could be a girlfriend that you talking about all they drama all the daggone time. And you always pick up that daggone phone. You consume yourself or whatever. And you festering up old triggers and spirits that you thought you would heal from by listening to that foolishness all day long. You know what? I love my friend. And I know my friend may need me. So instead of me answering the phone while I'm on my lunch break, I'm going to go pray on my lunch break for her. That's good. Instead of me picking up the phone for her and just spewing and listening to, and I can't even get a word in because girl, he did the whole daggone time or whatever. So just pull yourself back gradually or whatever the case may be. Let me be real candid. If you getting that ping, and the ping is good to you, and then y'all gonna call you after 11 o'clock at night.
Come on.
Ain't nothing open after 11 but legs. Legs and liquor stores, okay?
Legs and liquor stores.
Okay? Start saying, you know what? And Waffle House.
Waffle House.
And Waffle House has good
now
food.
Listen, we're going to Waffle House now.
Now, they teeth ain't raggedy, and it ain't dirty,
and
the floor ain't dirty.
And the floor ain't dirty.
The floor ain't dirty. I don't want it.
If you don't got crumbs on the table, don't go, baby.
But sit me at the dirty table.
Okay, I'll wipe it off myself.
Y'all table ain't dirty?
I don't want it. If it's too clean, the food ain't gonna be good.
Now the only thing I do get plastic silverware. That's the only thing I get.
You get the plastic. Or you get a hot water and put the silverware.
And I want my cook smoke. I want to pull up and see them with the Newport 100, the Cadillac, not the short, but the Cadillac.
You got to have a Newport.
A Newport 100.
What the other one called?
Black and Mild.
No.
What the other type of cigarette called?
Newport Short.
No, the other
Cadillac.
No, I think it's a red pack.
Marlboro.
Marlboro.
Did I say that right? I'm not.
It got to be medium, baby.
Marlboro Lights.
It might be that right there, but baby, I want to see when they they go.
Or they got a pack.
And they put all the niggas.
You got to do that. You got to do it. If you ain't smoking, I ain't want it.
And the last person I seen at Waffle House, they was sitting in the back by the trash can. There's a lady, she said, she was patting that thing so hard, and she was pulling it real hard like she had to go back inside.
Man, my girl, I'll be right with you.
But literally, ain't nothing like Waffle House. But don't go there after you open your legs, baby, okay?
And you should be open your legs, not unless you're married.
I ain't gonna be fake like that. Because baby, I was burning up.
Burning it.
I was burning up. I was having a lot of
we was lighting the fire.
We was right before we got there.
Let it burn.
We was burning up.
What the proper usher said?
And I had liked the burn.
What proper usher said, man? Let it burn, let it burn.
That's
we
what
was letting it burn.
Listen, I was at 7 o'clock on the dot. I was
in my drop top,
cruising the street.
In the drop top.
Okay, baby, I was ready to drop in my top. I was ready to give it
on.
He
was doing it, topping it and dropping.
I know some people struggle with that too. You know that dude got some good. That girl got some good. Or whatever.
Strongholds.
The strongholds, and you got daggone spirits. You think about depression and suicidal thoughts and all this stuff.
Though, I often, and you don't know this, but I often ask for forgiveness when I have with stuff like that I have done before marriage, with connecting with soul ties before I got married.
Yeah, and my thing is too, I want to be clear.
Because randomly, the act would come to mind of the person. I would just see the person face. Seriously. She don't know this. I would randomly see the person's face. No, I'm being serious. Seriously. And I'll be like, God, please forgive me for connecting myself with that soul tie.
Yeah, because you don't know how long that stuff lingers.
Seriously.
But people deal with literally demons, literally spirits that have in their own generational curses and childhood trauma. Imagine you sleeping with somebody. And I'm just saying, this is hypothetically, they have been molested, raped, or I'm just giving this type of, and they're not healed.
Not healed at all.
They don't know Jesus at all. They're not even on a road to healing. They're just acting out sexually based on what they've been through. And you lay down with that person, and now you have these sexual thoughts where you want to watch porn constantly, and you got this promiscuity on you, and you feel like everything has to be where I have to give myself sexually over for a man to pay attention to me. And you start having these thoughts of unworthiness and stuff. You don't know that stuff festers up from you sleeping with people. Like soul ties are real and they are very scary. And if you don't have the spiritual maturity to be able to repent and really break that thing for real, and sometimes deliverance doesn't come overnight.
Yeah.
Deliverance takes time.
It takes a while.
You may have been getting Peter Paul Monday through Friday. You may have to go down to Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and that's all right, son.
And the crazy thing about it is,
That's okay.
especially if that person has been leaning with someone who's been dealing with the same thing.
Yeah, because it's
just on
top
another
spirit.
level.
Yeah, it's spirit top
And they've been leaning with 7 or 10 other different people, or 5 other different people.
Fix it, God.
And now you lean with this one person, but really you waking up, you meeting one demon, but you get back up with 30.
Baby, I ain't want to get up with no 30 demons. You need to pray for you lay down me again. I know you may not got no demons, but this prayer again, folks. I'm a pray and repent for us.
If I'm good, I'm covered.
I'm pray again though. You say you
I'm restored.
I'm gonna next show.
Oh God.
I'm gonna next show. The last
What
one.
happened to this being perfect space?
It is a perfect space.
Don't tear me up and beat me up.
Well, there you go, y'all, with that foolishness once again. So this is the last point because I said it's, forgiving ourselves for allowing, releasing, and placing. Okay. And I'm going to say placing blame on others and not holding yourself accountable for your choices. Mm-hmm. Forgive yourself for your choices. This ain't no blueprint to show you what's going to happen every single day in your life at all or whatever. We all have been in places where we've made choices that was not conducive for us to grow, not conducive for us to be better or whatever the case may be. Sometimes you have to go back and say, you know what? I made a choice. Mm-hmm. A choice. I'm not continuing to make the decision to go along with the choice. I made a choice and I can forgive myself or whatever. Now I had to learn how to not fester in my own thought because you mess around and start self-sabotaging. Yeah. On everything you put your hands on, you will self-sabotage yourself. Any goal or any drink, like perfect space. I kept putting it down because I felt unworthy. Because I had other stuff that I was going through that I would not deal with. I'm like, how dare I go and talk to these daggone people? I felt unworthy to be able to sit and talk. But I'm talking from a place of vulnerability, transparency, and a journey of me growing. Wow. And I had to realize there's nothing wrong with that. I don't have all the answers. I don't have all the know-hows. I am growing as I'm trying to help other people grow. And that is my ministry. I have learned that my mouth can be the best and the worst thing that can happen for me.
It's the best thing.
Oh my God.
He on a different topic. That's a different show.
That's a different
show. We're talking about perfect space.
I know. But
it's the best thing.
Let it go. We can let Kelly talk. Shh. Put your finger to your mouth. Put your finger to your mouth. Like this.
We're talking about perfect
Do it like this.
Shh. Okay.
Like that.
In conclusion.
Yes. In conclusion, he's talking about nasty stuff, y'all.
We're talking about perfect space, woman of God.
No, you're being disgusting. And the kids are behind the camera making so many faces. Every time you get on this here binge, we want to talk about sex. That's gonna be our next topic. Sex. Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you. And they're gonna dance. Let's talk about all the good things. I was talking about let's talk about bubbles in the tub. Let's talk about making love. Let's talk about you.
Only if you married.
Only if you married.
I'm not married. Only if you married.
But she go get married.
Come on.
You know what? I had single last, my special guest last.
Wow.
Single. And that's supposed to be our introduction. We're gonna end with this introduction. This is singer, songwriter, actress, the beautiful, the wonderful, well-educated Kayla Baker.
Well renowned.
She is single, ready to mingle.
And she got a big time job, y'all.
Oh yeah, she the truth, baby.
She got what floor you on?
You know, she on the
10th floor.
You know when the state got to post your picture, you got a good job. When they got to post your picture,
listen, her office got a window.
Yeah, she got a window.
It's a nice view.
A nice view.
You know you big time when you got a window.
Floor.
You ain't in no cubicle. You got a window.
And she comes healed. She comes whole.
She got her own.
She got her own. She comes, listen, and don't come if you can't bring, if you can't match or do better.
Come on.
Okay, baby, don't come over here at all because we're going to vet you out.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that we're going to vet you out. We're going to vet you out. You got to be fine and you got to be tall too. You can't be too short.
You can't be tall. You ain't got to be tall.
You got to be able to pick up when you get married. Yes. Pick up.
Oh, now we're going to keep this holy, man. Don't be batting your eyes over there and looking up at the sky. You know her potential mate. Okay.
Could be watching tonight.
Could be.
You know, they watching on Facebook and YouTube. He could be on there watching tonight, baby. And on
a
the play.
foosball player.
He might be a foosball
He might be
player.
a football player.
Y'all know something that I don't know. Oh, okay.
I'm
Y'all
speaking
do.
in the spirit.
I receive it. I do receive it.
Show me him, God. Show me him, God.
Please.
I see it right now. We're gonna have I already know what we're gonna do. Well, this has been a perfect night for perfect states. I hope you guys are in the place where you are able to forgive or start on the road on the journey to forgiveness. Again, I am Lori. This is Jamie, and this is
Kayla Joy.
Kayla Joy.
Kayla Joy.
Oh, give them your handles for your music and stuff and your single, please.
Yeah. You can follow me on Facebook, Kayla Joy, or Musically Yours. Also on IG is Forever Kayla Joy. And then that's really it. I'm just on Facebook and IG mostly.
Go listen to our single.
And then my single, Heart Attack, featuring Alexis Bria. You can go check that out as a music video. And we have none other than this beautiful lady on vocals, background vocals.
Okay.
I like to say background, supporting vocals. Supporting vocals.
Okay.
Heart Attack.
Good stuff.
Yes. You know what? I'm going to start the next show playing Heart Attack too. So next show we are going to feature Heart Attack from Kayla Joy, Musically Yours herself, guys. We will see you guys next Sunday.
It's been lovely. Perfect.
Yeah. Good. Jordan always